Holla if you hear me. Got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. We could do. Cause you know I'm coming through. I survive. Holla if you come without you. Make us say bye, bye, bye. And take my heart with you. Can I go on? Even without you. Now say bye, bye, bye. Take my heart with you. Something happened all the way over to share this away. Go on, living without you, and make us say bye, 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 and take my heart with you. Can I go on? Hook up, holler, so you say bye, bye, bye. That's my song right there. Oh yes, I love some Master P. Now, how is everybody doing? Good day, good evening, everyone. Now, I'm going to start this off like I always do. Father, thank you for another chance to say thank you, first of all, for still being alive, for still breathing. We thank you for clothing, shelter, strength. We thank you because we know that you do not owe us another breath. And I just thank you, Father, for everyone here on tonight that is taking the chance out to hear this message. I hope it doesn't hurt or offend anyone, because that's not my intentions. In fact, my intentions is, Lord, to just really let your will be in this message and not so much of my opinion. And thank you. Amen. Now, I thought it was very important that I come and talk about something that's so serious that we try to sweep up under the rug and act like it's not. Now, it's not an issue with everybody, and it's not everyone's pain. Or can I say it another way? It is a pain, and it needs to be discussed, because I think some people don't understand how the Willie Lynch Syndrome still lives on, and how we talk about certain things that go on in our community, but then we are contradicting. I mean, not contradict. Yeah, that's it. We play hypocritical roles in it. And I'm going to explain that, go into that further. Now, I might be all over the place, hitting pointers like I always do, but my main objective is that I want to get out to the people that we need to stop it. We need to figure out a way to stop it. Because no matter what happens in the end, the system of white supremacy is going to still see us all in the long run as lesser human beings. It's just going to be that way probably to the end of time. Now, I feel personally I could go, I need to make really a part 1, a part 2, and part 3 saga of this, because it's going to take more than one video to get people to grasp on, especially folks that are set in their ways, that have their strong opinions like myself. And I welcome them to this video. I will not have any disrespect though, but I will welcome dialogue. And I actually want dialogue. I want people to come from both sides. And when I mean by all sides, I'm talking about all sides that were affected, but it seems like no one's being heard. And that's why we have a supremacy thing going on. We do. Let's just go ahead and be honest about it. We have a supremacy right in some of these conscious groups. We have it going on in church sometimes. And we're in denial, but it's the truth. We have it in families. Oh, yes, we do. We have it in children. Our children, the way we, and we have it on our jobs. Come on, we could just keep on going further. School, entertainment world, videos, politics. We could just, there's a list of them we can go down. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to get to who is right and who is wrong. I'm going to get to the fact that why are we allowing the Willie Lynch Syndrome to happen? Even those that are in denial about it. And I'll use some perfect examples. Some folks will sit there and say they feel that they can redefine who is black and who's not black. When a person has lived in a household with at least one black parent, and they've identified with the racial struggles here in America and abroad, probably other countries, who were denied equal fair rights, as far as colorism. I'm talking about the type of colorism where, like, let's just say, you getting profiled racially, and because you don't look a certain Anglo-Saxon, they see that you on the other side automatically because you're non-Caucasian, you're non-white. So they're coming after you. Okay, so since we know that this is what happens, why would we fight amongst each other and be tripping about who is more melanated and less melanated and all this receptive and all of this talk about genes and DNA, all this crazy stuff that don't mean a hill of beans. Because when, like I said, when it's all over with, The police ain't gonna open you up with a knife. Just ask any prisoner when you go get in prison. Do you pick a? Is there a good, like the show? What's that movie? I forget the movie with Spike Lee. School Days. Is there a school days activity thing going on in prison? I mean, I know they have the Mexicans against the Anglos, and then you had the, the black guerrilla mafia family, all of that. I don't understand why are we still at war with one another as a people. I'm so serious about it because I'm so sick and tired of going into these groups and people will sit there and they will attack a child who happens to come out different just because it doesn't look and exactly like how they look, or just say if you wasn't born looking a certain way, you get judged for it. And that's on both sides. And I feel that's crazy. It's just insane to hold a person prisoner, to hold them hostage and try to tell them that they're not black. And they don't, just because you feel they don't identify with your experience. That's crazy. So what are we going to do about it when we have leadership in the conscious communities and even in other communities? I don't know if it goes on in the church because it all would depend on who the leadership is and who's in control of that church. So, but I know it goes on in the reality of the black community as a whole, period. I don't understand why we try to redefine who is black or who is not. Just because, one, you claim that Obama is not a black man. How do you not see that he is? And you say because he's related to Clinton or he has white cousins and a white mother, that no longer makes him black no more. That just totally excludes him from being black. I disagree. I disagree because when I see him, when I see his facial features, when I see his voice, when I see his wife, his children, when I see how he was treated, in spite of, I see a brother. Simple as that. And if his brother, is, I just don't believe that you have to be a certain complexion to be considered melanated or to be considered of African descent. And why are we lying to ourselves saying that we are not? Now, if your fetish, or not your fetish, but if your if you and we all, if your eye candy is what you're attracted to, I don't care if you're male or female, black, and I'm talking to the black community, by the way. So this is between us right now and our people. So I hope no one else gets offended. And we do know also that black ranges in other cultures. So you do have the right to sit in on this conversation and learn something, and maybe you can relate, or maybe you try to understand it. But some folks will never identify, and I totally agree with that. If you do not identify with a black experience and don't even want to identify, then we could say somebody like you, it don't mean that you ain't black, but it don't mean that, if you say that you are not, then, who are we to redefine who you are? That's crazy, though. I'm just saying, if you really are, and you try to say, so let me go there. Thank you, Holy Ghost, for reminding me that also, why are we so, Why do we contradict ourselves in these debates? And I'm going to use an example. Okay, over a course of time, people will jump on folks and call them mulattoes. I personally think that that is a very offensive term when you look up the history of it. And then I think it's an offensive term for black folks to continue to call their other, and this has really nothing to do with ancestry, mixed ancestry, none of that. I'm just saying, why would you attack your brother and sister and tell them that they are not you and they are mutts? You're doing the same thing that the syndrome of Willie Lynch. Now we all know it wasn't true, but the syndrome still lives. As far as saying what we're going to do is divide them up, split them up, and we'll have this group against that group and all these different categories. And then we say that we'll sit there and we'll, like, for example, I'll use some people, an example. There's some people that may deny their mixed heritage and just will live on saying they are full-fledged black. Even as hurtful as it sounds, they will deny one side of their history or their DNA to embrace their other side, their black side, and say that they are all black. And then the person that will attack them will be all up in their face telling them, you're a liar. Oh, you are not black, and all these other things. And then when you have some on the other side that will say that they're everything but black, they're mixed. And we got black folks that are like that will never claim that they are black, when clearly when you see them and you see their parents and you see maybe their grandparents or whatever, they were black people, and they will say, no, I'm this and I'm that. And they have a right to say that if that's how they feel, or that's how they feel they identify with. But I'm saying, why would people turn around and attack people who may come from a background and don't want to talk about it, or just don't want to express it, don't want to live it? Not that they don't love their other parent, it's just they look at themselves as black. Why would you attack them one minute and then the next minute you're saying that they're wannabes? Think about it. How can they want to be something that you say that one minute that they are not, and then the next minute you saying that they are? And so I go in there because this is what be on these timelines, is it be in these groups, and I be sitting here reading these comments, and then I go to the profile and look at the people like, are they serious? Like, who is you to redefine who another person is? And then I be thinking, Lord, let them live one day in that other person's shoes, to let them see what that feels like, to be constantly told who you are. Now, this wasn't really about mixed heritage. It was about it all, from colorism to black to mixed, all of it combined in one. Because in some countries, I hear, like even over in India, they have supremacy, colorism supremacy. Some folks don't date, will not date you, hang out with you, because the first thing they see, they say, oh no, she's one of them, so I'm not going to mate with her, I'm not going to have a family with her, because then I'm swirling. What? How is you swirling with somebody that's pulsed with the same black blood as you. And how black do they have to actually be to be redefined? And even if you see two people that are black, you see one that's actually blacker or deeper melanated than one that is, just say they're a deep brown, but they're not as melanated as the one they're with. What do you say about something like that? They're not the same tone. So what would it be different if that darker complected person was teamed up in a unit, a family, or whatever, with this one that is a little lesser melanated, but they're still black? Big nose, big lips. I mean, I don't get it. How do we redefine people's identity based on how they appear to us? You know, I just feel it's unfair. I feel it's very unfair. I understand people have their right to want to keep their bloodline straight. Okay, I understand that, but at the same time, even that in itself is a contradictory, because when we cross the Atlantic Oceans, yes, I know about the Gullah. I have taught that for so many years, that most of the Gullah off of the shores of the South Cara and the Geechee Gullahs, who my grandfather happens to be, was a full Geechee, but he wasn't the Geechee from South Carolina. He was migrated from Jeanerette, Louisiana. Beautiful, black. Like he was I believe his real ancestry was Haitian. And my grandmother, you know, being a Creole from my mother's side, I don't know. They loved each other. They had beautiful kids. My mother was one of them. All of them. Pretty, brown. Deep. My mother was deeper melanated. My uncles were kind of like more of a cocoa. And my aunt was kind of in between, like a red cocoa. It was just a selection, but they all came from the same parents. And I guess I'm saying that because it's like, it's the same thing within the black community. Just because someone's parentage is of a different black, don't mean that they're any less or more black than anyone else. And if you're going based on appearance and you're looking because this person got 4C something hair, or this and this and this and that. Oh, they're rocking an afro. They're rocking dreads. They're rocking, they have no hair at all. That's my type. That's fine. But you can't sit there and say that just because someone doesn't look exactly the same way, that they're any more, any less black than you are. Okay? Because you don't know what their struggle was like. You don't know their parents. You don't know anything about how they were brought up, what their grandparents were. And why does even all of that matter? I mean, it is shocking to know that some people will sit here and look at you. I'm going to give you, and this is all in the black community. I don't live down south, so I don't know how it is up there. It's different up in the Northwest than it probably is somewhere down in New York or Nevada. I don't know. But I'm just feeling like right now, this is wrong. It's wrong to treat folks like that because little children are being affected. You know, in these groups, you go in there and they'll sit there and have a topic and they'll have a bunch of pictures comparing deeper melanated children to, less, melanated, but not as deeper melanated as others, and saying that, oh, these kids are more beautiful than those kids. And I understand that people say that they have to do that because in reality, people feel like the way that they have lived, that they said that light skinned and whatever, it was always put on this higher pedestal. But what folks need to realize that everybody's story is not the same. Not everybody. Even if you feel that you relate to it, if you see, I mean, you might even, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that I don't understand seriously why we even still, it's 2018. We're all human. We all bleed the same blood. And I'm not sitting here saying that, encouraging anybody to I honestly don't care who dates who. If you love someone, you love someone, but I'm not going to make it about that, because I do understand how important it is, how especially they're killing off our race of people. So, especially our men. So we have to repopulate in order to keep up that race of people, So I understand all of that. But all I'm saying is that, and you have a right, if you want, whatever it is, how you want to continue your bloodline. But I feel you shouldn't do it by bashing someone else. I have biracial nieces and nephews, and I dare anyone to say anything about them around me. I dare them to. I don't care how you feel. At the end of the day, that's my niece. Even if she does look close to Mariah Carey's color or dang near all the way white. That's my baby. That's my niece. She looked like me and my nephew. And I love them to death. And that's my family. So how am I going to sit here and let you sit there? What if they want to embrace, which they are, they want to embrace their black side. And they have a hard time doing that because some of y'all won't accept them. Now I'm talking about when they want to accept, when they want to embrace that. You don't give them the opportunity because you too busy worried about how black or how white or light skin or whatever they are. Is crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. And I'm talking about it because it's a little out of control. There's one conscious leader, I won't even say his name, and I have deep respect for him. I supported him even when a whole bunch of people came against him. And for some reason, it's like he'll sit here and respond to everybody's comment. But every time I tried to reach out, and when I tell you, I stuck and supported that brother from thick to thin on through his trial, through his tribulation. And it was almost like he kind of never responded to me. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to pay to come out to see his show because I don't try to judge the messenger. I'm the type of person that more or less tries to get the message. But I'm just saying it kind of hurt me to sit here and hear sometimes how he feels about people, his own people, that look a certain way. He just, it's almost like you got this thing on your face to him. And if you look a certain way, that's the X. He X's you out completely and feels you're not black. Unless you look a certain way, then that's the only way he deals with you. Even if you turned your back on him, told him he needed to be in jail, like some folks that, quote unquote, look like him more. I would say more technically, like he was saying. A whole bunch of them, women, quote unquote queens, were saying, turning against the king, saying, you need to be locked up somewhere. And I never felt that way. So I say all that to say that We need to fix it. We need to fix it all. We need to fix this little Willie Lynch syndrome that we keep allowing to live, because just because it affected you growing up, or however it affects you, how long are you going to let it continue? I mean, are you really going to fight and keep taunting people because of how their racial makeup is when they didn't ask to be here? Okay. I thought I could be very challenged on this video, and I might have to do it again. But I will say it from the bottom of my heart. I feel that it needs to end. All this side segregation within our own people. I mean, like I said, when the police rounds us up, what they gonna say? Put us all in categories. You blacks, get over here. And you blacks, get over there. No, they gonna round us all up and be like, y'all niggas. And y'all, you know, they ain't gonna care what you look like. But why do we care what we look like? They got women right now that ain't gonna be my friend based on how they feel I look like. And that I don't understand it, because I get along and love everybody. You know, I'm not gonna kiss your behind. And if you feel you know, that I don't know, I don't know what to say. I just feel that this is a trouble. This is a serious issue in our community, and we need to do something about it. And it's bad on both sides. You know, we need to cut all this light skin, dark skin, all this stuff. And okay, and if some of y'all feel deeply that you can only deeply melanate only what you want, so are you telling these other folks that aren't deeply as melanated that only they need to just stay together and don't go outside of the way their makeup is? Are you serious? Then you wonder why we have these issues, because we're continuing to segregate our own people, saying because you look a certain way, you need to go be with a brother that look like you, or a sister that look just like you. But even though that is another sister that may not look exactly like me, even though we are the same thing, come from the same history, it's not okay for you to mate with her. Serious? Personally, I feel that that's just crazy. You know? And people ain't gonna stop what they like. They gonna love what they love. And there's nothing any of you can do about it. You know? It's a stupid topic, but let me let you know right now, no, everybody ain't privileged, and no, folks don't think that they are better or got it going on. You can be confident whether you big, small, light, dark, whatever. If you don't love you and embrace who you are all the way, and you're not comfortable with who you are, then you have to, that's your responsibility to fix that. You can't just lie there and slowly allow yourself to wither away. I'm talking about in your emotions, about your beauty. You have to love yourself. That's like if I came out, I got a beautiful melanated sister. And like my mother is deeply melanated. All my siblings are. And they got such a confidence and a swagger out this world. I mean, my mother used to model, and my sister could have modeled, you know. And I lived in a household where I was outnumbered by more deeply melanated people. I was the one that stuck out like the sore thumb. I was the one that what they would call, quote unquote, the albino of that family. And it hurt. It hurt. It cut me deep to the point where I could cry right now because I feel like no one knew that experience of mine and how that affected me. Because I was not one of them where they were like, oh, that's the pretty little light-skinned one. Let's hold her and treat. No, my story wasn't like that. And I'm not going to go into that because it's too painful to even talk about. So in that story, I was your ridiculed, melanated child. Black sheep. And I did want to be a little darker back then. I did. I cut my hair. I would put darker creams on. I did things that you wouldn't believe. And I learned as I got older to love myself. If I didn't love myself, how can I expect anyone else to love me for who I was? So I'm saying that to encourage someone so we can stop all this fights and attacks, unnecessary attacks. And I will continue to talk about this as long as it continues to live. I mean, if we the ones keeping this Willie Lynch Syndrome alive, then when is it ever going to go away? It's not going to go away because people are still going to wear their hurt, or it ain't even got to be hurt. Some just feel how they feel for certain people. Anyway, I hope this video temporarily resonates. I hope I got somewhere. I had to do it over because I'm not getting where I want to really get with it. If it starts a controversy, if it sparks a controversy, well, I'm a little tired, so you gotta excuse me. I might be a little bit more amped up tomorrow. But thank you and have a good night. God bless you.